all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What's up, everybody? Mosh here, and today I am flying solo. No one's around, but you know what? I gotta get the product out to the people, so we gotta get this done one way or another. This episode is probably gonna be a little shorter than the others, but you know, that's because I can't really have a conversation with myself. And if I was having conversations with myself, I should probably check into a mental hospital. So I really only have a couple things to talk about today. And the first thing, I want to talk more about Destiny. So last week we talked about Activision and Bungie splitting up and what that means for the future of Destiny, but I didn't really talk about the future of Destiny. So that's what I want to do right now. So I came across a Reddit post, or a comment in a Reddit post, and the person was basically saying, what if Destiny became a long-term game that Bungie just kept updating? Like, don't worry about a Destiny 4 or 5. Like, when Destiny 3 comes out, just focus on Destiny 3. Okay, like, there's no League of Legends 2. They just keep updating. League of Legends came out in, like, 2009. So the game's 10 years old, and they just keep adding stuff to it and updating it. There's no World of Warcraft 2, because, again, they just keep adding stuff and updating it. So why not do that same thing, but for Destiny? Because every time a new Destiny game comes out, you have to restart. I mean, the first game you had to start from new, but then the second game, you had to completely start over again. And when Destiny 3 comes out, you have to start over again. But if they just keep the game going long term, you don't have to worry about that. But if they did it this way, they'd have to have a lot of free updates. Not every update has to be an expansion that costs money, because then you're going to lose people, because the game's going to get really expensive. So there has to be a lot of free updates and then a paid expansion, every now and then. But if they went down this route, I would be much more inclined to spend more time playing Destiny. Because right now it's like, you play the game, you fully level up, and then you have to wait for the next expansion. You buy it, you wait, you get fully leveled up. You gotta wait for the next expansion. You buy it, you fully level up. Then the big expansion comes, which costs double the price. And then that's when the game finally starts to get good. You have to wait a year after release for it to get good. And it's just, like, it's nuts. I don't like the way that they do this. I shouldn't have to wait a year after release to get the game that we should have got on release. The big thing with Destiny 3, though, is, like, yeah, they have to add a bunch of PvE stuff, but the big thing is going to be PvP, because, when you get tired or bored, you have nothing to do in the PvE world, like, you're going to want to go to PvP and do that, but the PvP in Destiny games are, like, it's not good. It's really not. It's an absolute nightmare when it comes to balancing, because there's just so much. So many weapons, and then abilities that those weapons have, and then armor, and then the armor, or the abilities that the armor has, and it's just, like, you just can't keep it balanced. So I think Bungie needs to, look to the past and do what they did with Halo. They need to make Destiny's PvP like Halo. Halo 1, 2, or 3. And either start everyone out with the same gun and have weapon pickups around the map, or let people choose what gun they want to start with, like, an auto rifle, pulse rifle, scout rifle, hand cannon, but only have, like, one. You don't need to have all of them. Just choose one of each class. And then that way you can keep PvP way more balanced. And also take supers out, or have it to where you can only get your super if you're playing well in the game. Because right now you can get your super, like, no matter what, which I think is a little ridiculous. Because if you're doing really well, and some person that's not doing well gets their super and they kill you, then it's like you died by someone that's not good just because they have a one-hit kill super. It's not fun that way. Like, you should be rewarded for doing well. You shouldn't be rewarded for doing badly. And that was a thing I read about the split from Activision Bungie, is that Bungie wants to cater to more hardcore players. And they should. Or make PvP similar to how they had it in the alpha and the beta of Destiny 1. Because that's when it was really good. Because there weren't a bunch of weapons, and everyone only had one super. Because they didn't have everything. Everything wasn't unlocked because it was an alpha and a beta. But, like, the PvP was a lot more simpler. It was more balanced, and it was just way better. And then that got me excited about the game. And then when the full game came out, it was like, you add all the other stuff on top of it. Like, it was just too much. It wasn't the same. I think if Bungie gave us a simple, stripped down, balanced PvP experience, it would do wonders for the game, because that's why I kind of stopped playing Destiny 2, is because like I did all the PvE stuff and I got bored because I don't like PvP. But if PvP was good, I would stick around longer. Like I would still be playing the game. Like it's important, even if you don't play PvP, it's still important to the player base and keeping people around. Like I don't need all these exotic weapons and armor and supers in PvP. It's not needed. There's no reason for it. Like keep that in PvE. The other reason why there's issues with PvP right now is because some guns are really good or overpowered, and you get weapons usually based off of luck. It's RNG. So some people might get an overpowered gun, and then other people will never get that gun, and it's not fair. Everyone should have access to the same weapons in PvP, because again, that's how you keep it balanced. It's really frustrating when someone has an overpowered gun and they're destroying everyone, and you don't have that gun, and there's just like nothing you can do about it. I truly think that's what Bungie needs to do for Destiny 3, or whatever the next Destiny is going to be called. Just release it when the next gen consoles come out and support it all the way through that generation. Like no Destiny 4, just Destiny 3 throughout those years. Make the graphics good enough to where people aren't, complaining. And it has to be at least 60 FPS. Continue to update the game with PvE content like they do already, and then you have to make PvP good. You just have to. Like it's so crucial to the existence and the life of that game. They need to completely revamp it, honestly. I miss playing Destiny as well. Like, I had so much fun on the first game, and for a good portion of the second game. I don't play the second game anymore, unfortunately. I know Forsaken is supposed to be good, but I just cannot get myself to pay $40 for that expansion. If that's the game we should have had at launch, like, you want me to pay $60 for the base game at launch, which I did, and then another $100 for the game we should have got on day one. But I also heard to play Forsaken, you also have to have the previous expansions, which are $20 a pop. So that's another $40. So that's $140 to play the game. That's a lot, and I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. So I'm done with Destiny until Destiny 3. But the first game was like, it was special. I could play it mindlessly in a way. Like I could join any activity and just do it without even thinking. I love the world of Destiny. I love the characters, like the game and controls. All that stuff feels good. It's just lacking in certain departments. And hopefully, with Activision no longer being involved, Bungie can do what they want to do, and hopefully they improve on that stuff that is lacking. Oh, and I think they have like a Forsaken bundle where you get the other two expansions, and it's still like $40, but still. But yeah, this was just someone on Reddit that I saw saying that they should just release a game and support it for years to come, and I completely agree. I think that would be a great idea. So that way Bungie can just focus solely on the game. Like no other distractions. I know they have another game they're making, but the Destiny team can focus just on Destiny 3 and not Destiny 4, nothing else. The thing is, we're not going to hear about Destiny 3 for a while. Probably not until, I'd say 2020, next year. It's definitely going to be on next gen consoles. There's like not even a question about that. Maybe at the end of this year, but definitely next year, because it'll probably be released next year. There's a very good chance of that. I mean, there's 3 years between Destiny 1 and 2, so Destiny 2 came out in 2017, and next year's 2020, so it's 3 years. So we're still a ways away. I might jump back on Destiny 2 when the next expansion comes out, because it'll be $20 again. It'll be cheaper. But again, I don't know if it's the whole thing where I have to have the previous ones. So, I mean, we'll see. If I don't, and I could just get that one, then I'll well, I shouldn't say probably, but I'll definitely be interested in playing it again. So we'll see. But as of right now, I'm pretty done with Destiny, which is unfortunate because, like I said, I really enjoyed the first game and the first part of the second game. But once I ran out of stuff to do, it was like, what do I do? I would jump on PvP, but again, like it's not good. Like I'm happy for Bungie, and I really am excited for Destiny 3. I'm seriously curious to see what they do, and obviously hope it's good. Another thing to think about in Destiny 3 is the vault space. Like in Destiny 1, vault space was an issue. Destiny 2, vault space was an issue. So if they have a long-lasting game in Destiny 3, surely vault space would be an issue. Now, I don't know, like I said, I haven't played Destiny 2 in a while, so I don't know if they've made the vault better, if they added more space, if people still complain. I don't know. But in Destiny 3, they would have to make a mega vault or just completely redo the system. Also, your character doesn't talk in Destiny. For a brief few moments, your character talks, but for the most part, they don't talk. And I think it hurts the game because, like, you're killing gods, okay? Gods. And your character says nothing. I don't understand. One last thing about Destiny. If they do make Destiny 3 a long-lasting, multi-year game, like I've been saying, it raises the question, is do they make it free to play? Because League of Legends is free to play. World of Warcraft is free to play. At first it wasn't, but now it is. So, do you make it free to play and bring in a whole bunch of new players? Or do you just keep doing what you've been doing and make it cost money? Because if you go free to play, you can have microtransactions and charge for expansions. Because, you have to make money somehow. But if you do microtransactions, you can't do it the way they've been doing it. Where, like, I think in Eververse, if you wanted something, you had to get an engram for it, and then you weren't guaranteed to get what you wanted, much like, loot boxes in Overwatch and Call of Duty. You just need to give people what they want. Like, you want this thing here, buy it. You want that thing, okay, buy it. The way microtransactions used to be until the loot crates came in and added, randomness to it, which sucked. And then Fortnite comes along and is like, no. Go back to how it used to be. You want this, buy it. And Call of Duty has luckily gone back to that way. So hopefully Destiny does the same thing. So you can make money through microtransactions and you can charge for expansions. But, the more people you have, the more people that will buy that stuff. So going free to play is not a bad idea. But, we'll see. Third time's a charm, Bungie. Third time is a charm. Anyway, that's probably enough Destiny talk for now. Next up, Rocket League. Rocket League is the newest fully cross-playable game out there, or cross-playable, whatever you want to call it. PlayStation people can play with Xbox and PC and Nintendo. Is it on Nintendo? I think Rocket League's on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, everyone can play with everyone, just like Fortnite, so that's cool. It's another game added to the cross-play. We're getting there. It's still going to take a while before most games are in the crossplay world, but slowly but surely, we will get there. Next up, we have some Fortnite news. So a few people have come out and started to sue Fortnite or Epic Games, like the Carlton guy, Alfonso. I forgot his last name. Alfonso, I think is his first name. Some other rapper who I don't remember the name of, and Backpack Kid, all suing them for their dances being in the game. But there's a new fighter, a new challenger has entered the battle. You know Orange Shirt Kid. You know Orange Justice. It's your favorite emote. Well, his mother is suing Epic Games for that dance. This is just ridiculous. Because first of all, it was part of a contest. It was the Boogie Down contest where Epic said, we're going to take the best one and put it in the game. And second of all, it was a contest. I don't understand. This just reeks of desperation and just trying to make a quick buck. And it's not even his dance. He took it from someone else. So I feel bad for Orange Shirt Kid because a lot of people know who he is, especially in school. So they're probably going to make fun of him now once they catch wind that his mom is suing Fortnite. So good job, lady. Music time. I want to make this podcast gaming and music. So basically I want to talk about gaming stuff first and then music after that. And then kind of like the nonsense and random conversations will be after the music part. So anyway, this week I want to talk about Beaver333. They just released a new album on Friday, January 18th, and I've listened to it a bunch of times already, so you can kind of tell what I already think about it. Anyway, a little backstory before I get into it. Beaver333 is an American rock band formed in Inglewood, California. It's a three-piece band consisting of former Let Live vocalist Jason Alon Butler, former The Chariot guitarist Steven Harrison, and Night Vs. drummer Eric Imprada. The album is called Strength in Numbers, and it is their debut album. They released a debut EP last year called Made in America. Not Made in America. Made in America. A-N, not I-N. And that EP has some good songs on it too. Title track. There's another song called Walking in My Shoes that's also really good. And these guys have been in the industry for a while. Like I said, they came from other bands, so it's their debut album, but it's not like their first album because they've done this before. It's not their first rodeo. So they're not a rap group, but the vocalist definitely has rap vocal deliveries on parts of the songs. And it's not like that emotionless rap or mumble rap or whatever garbage people hear these days. You know, he's not like, made a sandwich today, 21, 21, 21. Or, Ric Flair dripping old man bodily fluids, or whatever the kids listen to these days. It's not like this. This music has energy. There's emotion behind it. It's a 3-piece band. Also, if you're wondering what the 333 stands for, or why it's 333, because it's kind of weird to have in your band name, C is the third letter in the alphabet, so it's CCC, which stands for Community, Charity, and Change. Also, there's 3 members in the band, so instead of calling it Fever CCC, it's Fever 333. This band is kind of hard to describe. Their sound, like I said, there's rap elements in it, there's rock elements in it. All these guys come from hardcore and metal backgrounds, so there is some screaming involved into it. A lot of people want to compare them to Rage Against the Machine. If you want to compare them to Rage, you can. I'm not. There is some political stuff on the album. The thing is, they don't name drop, which is good, because I hate when bands drop names. Well, they say like Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, but that's it. Like, they don't talk about anyone else that's alive right now. Like, they don't call out Trump or anything, because when you name drop people, you're basically putting an expiration date on your songs, which I don't like. I feel like songs should be timeless and you can listen to them whenever you want, because if people make songs about Trump, then once Trump's out of office, no one's going to want to listen to those songs anymore. So they don't do anything like that, which is good. They talk about, kind of like crooked cops and just bringing attention to that, and really just, more social issues. And I've seen people comment like, oh, if Antifa was a band, this would be them, or that these guys are anti-white. Which is not true at all. The drummer's white, and the vocalist's wife is white, so they're not anti-white. And also another thing with 3 members is the drummer's white, the vocalist is mixed or biracial, and the guitarist is a full-on cultured brother. And they said that was intentional to have it that way. They talk about, equality amongst races and just equality amongst human race in general. And really, if you have a problem with that, then, there's a pretty good chance that you're the one that's a racist. So I can tell you right now, these guys do not have a racist bone in their body. So if you think that way, then, you should really be questioning yourself. So yeah, they're like a rap rock group, and you're hearing a lot of hip hop beats going on, and of course some guitar. The guitar is used more for rhythm than anything. Like, there's no tasty licks or shreddy solos, and really the music doesn't call for that to begin with. It's more just, like I said, rhythm, and the guitar comes in a lot when the chorus comes in to kind of make the chorus sound bigger, and it does a good job of doing that. 3 of the songs on this album end with the number 3. So there's Pray For Me 3, Inglewood 3, and Out of Control 3. And not only are those the 3 longest songs on the album, but those songs also change about halfway through. They all have a transition, and it changes into a completely different song. So you're basically getting like 2 songs in one on those 3 songs, which is pretty cool. On Inglewood, you hear the softest parts of the album and also the heaviest parts. So it's kind of cool to have that contrast with one song. A lot of catchy choruses. Which is great because I'm a sucker for catchy choruses. A lot of people call this, manufactured or a gimmick. And hello, welcome to music. Gimmicks have been around for a long time, so that's not a big deal. But my ears are satisfied, and that's really all that matters. I would give this album a 9 out of 10. Easily a 9 out of 10. 9 sour cream and onion bags of chips out of 10. Highly recommend listening to it, and I will put a link in the description where the band made a playlist of it on their YouTube channel, and all the songs are in order. Highly recommend listening to the songs in order, and the lyrics are in the description as well, except for the first song, which is an intro, but I don't really count that, and the second song, which is Burn It. It's the music video, so I don't know why the lyrics aren't in the description, but in all the other songs, the lyrics are in the description, so you can go to the YouTube channel and you can listen to all of it. Like I said, link in the description. So you have no excuse not to listen to this album. And I dare anyone to listen to Pray For Me and tell me that's not a good song, or else I ought to slap you upside the head. But yeah, I love this album. I've listened to it so many times. It's crazy. And I'm recording this on Sunday, so it's only been out 2 days. If this album is not on my top 5 albums of the year at the end of the year, then the albums that did make my top 5 are masterpieces. Because yeah, I cannot stop listening to this album. The catchy choruses are just, everything is just so well done. And you're not going to hear me speak very highly of another band for a while because there's really no albums coming out. After next week, there's really no albums coming out that I'm looking forward to for a few, I think until like March. But next week will be the long-awaited, highly anticipated album from the Backstreet Boys. I'm just kidding. Next week will be the long-awaited, highly anticipated album from Bring Me the Horizon, which things will be said and words will be had about that. And Fever 333 and Bring Me the Horizon are on tour together. I don't know if the tour started yet, but it will soon. Once like the end of spring and the beginning of summer hit, that's when a lot of albums are going to start dropping. So we're going to hit a low point for a little while, but then things are going to ramp back up and we'll be good to go on that. I also just realized that I was talking about Fever 333 on episode 3. That was not intentional. I consider that more Destiny, like it was meant to happen. I also talked about Destiny and Destiny 3 and saying that third time was a charm. A bunch of threes just happened in the same episode. The stars have aligned, people. I want to talk about the logo real quick. I saw a picture of Post Malone recently, and on his knuckle was a familiar looking thing. One would say it looks similar to the logo I use for this podcast. Now, I just want to say right now, that's not where I got the idea from. I've had this logo made for probably over 2 years at this point. And I know I said I needed a logo for the podcast, but that was before I knew the name of the podcast, because the logo and the name actually go hand in hand with each other, because I thought of it, like I said, a few years ago. Basically, what it is, it's just an Old English E, and I modified it slightly and added a crown to it. Bands do that all the time where they modify, fonts and stuff. You're allowed to do it. It's a free-to-use font. I don't make money off it anyway. That's where it all came from. I did not get it from Post Malone, so if you see his knuckle, like just under, that's not where I got it from. And you're probably wondering what the name of the podcast means. And well, if I told you, it wouldn't be a secret anymore, now would it? Anyway, I want to thank everyone for listening on my solo episode. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, but it's going to happen from time to time. There are going to be episodes where I have to do it by myself, but hopefully not too often. Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you guys later.